All right, let's talk about AI in government. The conversation always seems to be about one thing, making things faster and cheaper. But what if that laser focus is actually causing us to miss something huge, something hiding in plain sight?
To really get our heads around this, we have to start with a fascinating, and let's be honest, kind of weird story from the world of medicine. It's the key to this whole thing.
So picture this. You've got a group of top-tier radiologists. We're talking experts who've spent their entire careers looking at lung scans, and they're given a bunch of images to review. Their job? Spot the cancerous nodules. Simple enough. But the researchers slipped in a little surprise.
And here's the kicker. An incredible 83% of these experts completely missed it. We're talking more than 4 out of 5 of them just didn't see the thing the researchers hid in the scans.
Now, this wasn't because they were bad at their jobs or being careless. It was the opposite. They were so hyper-focused on their one task, find the cancer, that their brains were tuned to see only that. So what could have been so obvious that almost all of them just looked right past it?
Yep, a gorilla. You heard that right. And this wasn't some tiny little speck, okay? It was 48 times bigger than the cancerous nodules they were trained to find. And yet, because their brains weren't expecting a gorilla, they just didn't see it. It was edited out. Wild, right?
This actually has a name. It's a real psychological thing called inattentional blindness. It's this crazy quirk of our brains where intense focus on one thing can make us completely blind to another, even if it's staring us in the face. They were looking for cancer, not gorillas, so poof, no gorilla. Okay, so what on earth does any of this have to do with AI in government? Well, pretty much everything. Because this exact same phenomenon is happening right now in city halls and public agencies all over the world as they rush to bring in AI. They're looking so hard for one thing that they're missing something else entirely. So, if the radiologists missed a literal gorilla because they were only looking for cancer, what is the invisible gorilla that our public sector leaders are missing in the whole conversation about artificial intelligence? It's this relentless, almost obsessive pursuit of efficiency. I mean, think about it. The pitches, the proposals, the demos, they all promise the same things. Make government faster, make it cheaper, make it more productive. And hey, that sounds good. But this incredibly narrow focus is making us blind to the much, much larger impacts of AI.
And you can really see this weird split in how we think about it. I mean, at home, you might mess around with an AI, right? You use it as a creative partner, you brainstorm ideas, write a silly poem. It's fun, it's expansive. But the second that same technology walks into the office, especially a government office, the conversation just shrinks. It stops being a creative partner and becomes a software upgrade, a tool. Its only job is to drive efficiency and save costs.
And here is the fundamental problem with that. As author Micah Gaudet puts it, basing your entire AI strategy on efficiency is like building a house on a really fragile foundation. It seems fine until it isn't. The moment the AI gets something wrong or a workflow breaks, the whole argument for having it just collapses because efficiency was its only selling point. So this means we have to fundamentally rethink what AI even is. The whole idea that we can just plug it into our existing systems like a new printer it's deeply flawed. A much better way to think about it comes from Gaudet. AI isn't a tool. It's more like a new species being introduced into an ecosystem. And when you do that, it doesn't just do one thing. It interacts, it adapts, and it changes the entire environment around it. And this is what that means in the real world. Putting AI into a government agency doesn't just speed up a process. No, it completely reshapes how teams work together. It changes what you and I, as citizens, expect from our government. It alters relationships, and it can quietly start to amplify some voices while drowning out others. It changes the entire system.
Which brings us to the real risk. The biggest danger isn't that the AI is going to break or hallucinate. The greatest danger is misalignment. That's when the technology works perfectly, but its outcomes are completely out of sync with our civic values. Things like trust, equity, and human connection.
Okay, so if efficiency is the wrong goal, if it's the gorilla we're missing, then what should we be aiming for instead? What does a better, more solid foundation for AI in our public institutions look like? The whole focus needs to shift from just raw output to, well, human-centric outcomes. So imagine using AI not just to close support tickets faster, but to free up public employees to use their full intelligence to solve more complex problems. Or using it to help residents actually understand complicated policies, building trust. Or, and this is the big one, using it to create more space for meaningful relationships between government and its people.
Now let's be clear, this is not about being anti-efficiency. Good efficiency is great. But its purpose shouldn't be the end goal in itself. The point of efficiency should be to automate the routine stuff to free up human beings for the things that only humans can do. Listen, empathize, build trust. I mean, those things are often deeply inefficient, but they are the absolute bedrock of a functioning society.
So the core message here is pretty simple. We have to zoom out. We have to stop staring at the single task of efficiency and start looking around for the gorilla, for the massive systemic changes that AI is bringing into our civic life.
This quote just reframes the whole conversation perfectly. What if the true power of AI in government isn't about doing things faster, but about enhancing our ability to listen to our communities, adapt to what they need, and deliver services with care on a massive scale? Now that is a much more inspiring vision.
So ultimately, this is the question we all need to start asking. Before we ask what a new tool can do for us, we have to first understand the system, the culture, the relationships, the values that we're inviting it into. Because if we don't, we risk building governments that are streamlined and efficient, but completely hollow. And that is a gorilla we simply cannot afford to mess.